very much in a rush to make that thing happen. Red heifer to clean themselves, the Israelites. Let's take a look at this video first, and then I'll be talking to you more in details.
Hey, we're coming up on Passover, and here's a red heifer update. Israel now has 4 red heifers that are still remaining kosher. They're looking forward to sacrificing at least one of these red heifers at Passover this year. At this point, they already have the altar built, and they already have the land purchased where this sacrifice will take place. So
basically, 2 developments. Number 1, they already have the red heifer, the cows they brought from Texas, US. And the second development is that they already have a land purchased where this red heifer will be sacrificed. And what will happen is that they're going to be burning this red heifer, whichever way. And then from the ashes, they are going to be using those ashes in the ritual ceremony that they will do inside the Temple Mount. And this is why they need this red heifer so badly.
Could we be seeing a temple built very soon? Well, at least the gold portion of this temple could be there already. A recent rabbi has traveled to Ethiopia where gold was given for the restoration of the 3rd temple. So it looks like things are falling into place, and we could see that red heifer sacrifice on Passover of 2020.
Okay, so the Passover that he's mentioning here, it could be, I believe, in April next month. So they're pretty close. If they want to build the temple, if they want to have the the 3rd temple built and the Messiah to appear, they must do the red heifer sacrifice, the ritual and all those things, because it will again clean these Israelites from their unholiness, from all their sin. So huge development. The rabbis, they're traveling through Africa, countries in Europe, US, and everywhere. They're everywhere in order to lobby or in order to expedite the process.
24. It's been over 2,000 years since there was a kosher red heifer that could be sacrificed and ashes be collected for the purification process of Israel. Could we be looking at that being fulfilled here very soon? Absolutely we could. This is the end times, and we're living and watching Bible prophecy come to pass.
Okay, so basically Bible prophecy, that the way this should be coming to happen is through natural events. For example, in Islam, we believe these things will happen when Allah Azza wa Jal will want it. So even the coming of the Mahdi, coming of the Dajjal, Ya'juj and Ma'juj, all of these things will happen when Allah would want it. This is why we do not want to discuss these issues in the masjid. You do not hear a lecture on Fridays talking about the coming of the Mahdi or the Dajjal and all of those things. Very rarely. You do maybe, very rarely. The reason for that is because we Muslims, we believe this will happen when the time is right. Allah will make it happen. But the Israelites, unlike the Muslims, they believe that this is something, the prophecies from the Bible, this is something that they need to make happen. So they are pushing it. They are, going and invading countries. They are now invading. They are planning to invade Iran. They are, attacking Syria, Lebanon, all of these countries, because they are so much in a rush that these prophecies has to be fulfilled by our action, not when God wants. And basically this individual, he also said, when you heard him talking about the red heifer, he said that end of time is not coming.
Over 2,000.
End of time is actually here. And Muslims, wallahi, in this case, we do lack. We do believe that end of time will happen. Maybe after, who knows, it will. I mean, the way we act, it is as if it will never happen. But we should be very, very much ready about this. So red heifer was needed. So this is why you see, to meet the requirements of the Old Testament law, the red heifer was needed to help accomplish the purification of the Israelites from uncleanness. Specifically, the ashes of a red heifer were needed. So they are actually quoting from the Bible, because red heifer ashes were necessary for the purification rites held at the temple. Many have regarded the appearance of red heifer today as heralding the construction of the 3rd temple and the return of Christ. So again, when they say return of Christ, this is not what the Jews believe. The Jew believe that they need to have the Messiah return, or the Messiah should come. And the evangelical Christian, they believe that through this kind of sacrifice, the second coming of Christ will take place. So you can see Judaism, they are expecting the Messiah Christianity, they are expecting the second coming of the Christ, Jesus, Isa alayhi salam. According to the rabbinical tradition, there have been 9 red heifers sacrificed since Moses' time. Since the destruction of the second temple, no red heifers have been slaughtered. Now, this is why this guy was saying that it has been almost 2,000 years since we had the red heifer sacrificed, and obviously right now the rabbis, they're frantic. They're frantically running here and there to have this red heifer coming to their land. The rabbi Maimonides thought that the 10th red heifer would be sacrificed by the Messiah himself. So we are expecting more red heifer, in other words, in the coming days, especially after the coming of the Messiah, the Messiah. There will be another red heifer, according to this rabbi, that the Messiah or the Dajjal will sacrifice one more red heifer, the 10th one. The Temple Institute, a group advocating the construction of a third temple, reports that 5 flawless red heifers from Texas arrived in Israel on September 15, 2022. So it was not long ago that they already have all of these red heifers coming to their land. Many people view this event as a fulfillment of prophecy, since the accusation of red heifer is a major step in plans for a new temple. So again, as you can see, they are doing it themselves. They're bringing these red heifers. They're not letting things happen the way they should, according to God's plan, according to Allah's plan, but they are bringing this red heifer, flawless, this and that, making a big buzz about it. The Mosaic law specified that red heifer was to be caught without defect or blemish, and to have never borne a yoke. The sacrifice of the red heifer was unique in the law, in that it used a female animal. It was sacrificed away from the entrance to the tabernacle, and it was the only sacrifice in which the color of the animal was specified. Do you remember this story in Surah Al-Baqarah? Do you remember how Bani Israel, they said, we want this cow, that cow, it has to be this age, it has to be that age, and they were asking too many questions to Musa alayhi salam. I mean, looks like similar situation here. The slaughtering of the red heifer is described in Numbers 19, 1-10. Eliezer, I believe Eliezer, and I think it was also in the book of the Deuteronomy, Ezekiel. All over the Bible, you see these verses talking about the end of time and red heifer. The priest was to oversee the ritual outside the camp of the Israelites. After the animal was killed, Eliezer was to sprinkle some of its blood towards the front of the tabernacle 7 times. Verse 4. Then he left camp again and oversaw the burning of the carcass of the red heifer. So again, once the red heifer is being burnt, then they will be using those ashes for the ritual, the purification ritual that they will do inside the temple. And once they do that, then after that they will go and try to build the third temple. But subhanallah, qadr of Allah, the Muslims are going to be their biggest obstacle, because the Muslims, we have Masjid al-Aqsa right there. So Allah Azza wa Jal is waiting for them to come and try to put their hand on the Masjid al-Aqsa and see the consequence. It is not going to be so easy, guys. And one rabbi, I saw a video actually yesterday or today. The rabbi, he claims that Jew, they are even more powerful than God. Ya'udhu billah. Yeah, this is exactly what the video said. I don't know what he said exactly, but what I understood from the video, the Jews are becoming so haughty and they're becoming so arrogant that they now compare their understanding of religion and sacrificing red heifer and bringing the Messiah is more powerful than God himself. Can you believe this? I mean, this is very, very scary, but it is happening. So they will be burning the carcass. As the red heifer burned, the priest was to add some cedar wood, hyssop, and scarlet wool to the fire. So they are actually ready with all of this. So the cedar wood, hyssop, and scarlet wool, all of them are ready. They already brought them. The ashes of the red heifer were then collected and stored. So the ashes will be stored in a ceremonially clean place outside the camp. So again, we understand from all of this is that they will be burning the red heifer, collect the ashes, and then they will wait for the rituals to take place. So for that to happen, it looks like to me they are going to be waiting for the third temple to be built first, which means the end of Masjid al-Aqsa. According to what they understand, they have to get rid of Masjid al-Aqsa, otherwise they cannot bring the Masih, they cannot complete this ritualistic practices. The ashes were used in the quote unquote in the water of cleansing. It is for purification from sin. Numbers 19, and you can see this is the verse they're talking about. The law goes on to detail when and how the ashes of the red heifer were used in purifying those who came in contact with a dead body. Quote, whoever touches a human corpse will be unclean for 7 days. They must purify themselves with the water on the 3rd day, and on the 7th day, then they will be clean. So basically, they're talking about human corpse. So you can get impure, you can get unclean by touching a human dead body. So who's going to wash the dead bodies of somebody who is dying? I don't know. I mean, these are all, to me as a Muslim, doesn't make any sense, but for the Jew, it is something they are holding on to so dearly and waiting for the coming of the Masih that they are seeing in the Bible coming true, the prophecies and all that. I have some comments here. I'm just going to go with all the comments from the brothers. Thank you so much for your comments. Kerala Stone supplies, what happens after sacrifice? They are going to, as I said, brother, they're going to wait. They're going to collect and store the ashes, and then they will use those ashes to purify themselves. And after that, they will, the purification will have to be in the third temple that they are so eager to build. So Masjid al-Aqsa will at that point will be destroyed, or the Yahudi will at least try to destroy it. Okay, below their Masih will come the Dajjal. Bird, these Red Bull guys are going too far. Red Bull. Red Heifer, Red Bull. Yeah, actually I thought about that name. Why don't we call them Red Bull instead of Red Heifer? Red Bull, right? That's a good name. Okay, so then Kerala, okay, Allah knows, and okay. And then I have Azmar, yes, but we have end time hadith. And then Allahu Akbar, birds net red fast. Fame RK, it does not matter why they do, they will ultimately lose. Of course, they are losing. Think about how they are trying to get rid of Gaza, people of Palestine, and how miserably they're failing. They really need to look at their action right now. Bird, yes, it's always good news for the believer. Fame RK, Azmar, yes, I agree. And then Abdullah Isa, brother Abdullah, the homosexual Jews at WEF said they are gods. Okay, so yeah, brother Abdullah, you're right. This is probably what I have seen. But then again, there is a video that clearly said that the Jew right now, they're so arrogant, they believe that they're stronger, more powerful than God himself. MCs would never serve an ashes. It is a disgrace. What do you mean by MC? I'm not sure. Bird nest. Let me know what you mean by that. But again, brothers and sisters, these are looking absolutely miserable for the Yahudi. They're so desperate to bring the Masih. What they will do with the Masih? They're going to rule over the world? Well, we'll see. But again, the Muslims, mashallah, tabarakallah, we are making dua. This is the month. And there is another video actually that said, basically one guy, he said, the month of Ramadan is the month when we kill them all. Subhanallah, means the Yahudi, this Jew, he said that this is the month where Muslims should be killed. Wallahi, this is insanity, nothing but insanity. Jazakallah khair for your comments. Muhammad Razwan, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Balo asi brother Razwan. Jazakallah khair, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.